All right. We did the intro. You already paid up for one of your purple punishments. Hopefully we don't have any more because we just can't say the name of our favorite team this episode. But we can talk about our favorite team. What do you think?
We can.
What are your initial just quick reactions to that Niners NFC North team game?
Well, first of all, I think any fan of our favorite team would be surprised that they won.
Yeah.
In fact, we both picked them to lose this game.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, that was a few months ago. It was before even final rosters were set and stuff. So it was kind of a toss-up. Like, could they win? Well, maybe, but more than likely they won't. And they looked good today.
They looked really good.
Yeah.
A lot of people were kind of discounting that win against the Giants last week because it's the Giants and Daniel Jones is terrible and the NFC North team in question probably are just, taking advantage of a terrible team. But the Niners last week in prime time against Aaron Rodgers looked pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And our favorite team in Minnesota, they got the job done.
Well, this is now, I think, this goes back 30-some years that the Niners haven't won in Minneapolis. So that's pretty outstanding as well, right? That the
Niners can feel you towing the line there.
Oh, I'm all over the place. I'm trying not to. It's really hard, but we'll make it. We'll survive. My heart rate is still slightly elevated from the push-ups
from the
that
first,
I've already done. With some beer, that'll even out a little bit.
All right. Well, I guess let's just dive into it. Offense, defense, special teams. Which member of each of those groups gets your game ball for this game?
Gosh, I'm going to start with defense.
Okay.
Because this name it's a name that I talked about last week after week one, and it's another name that just stood out to me this week. I think he's a dark horse kind of candidate on the defensive side of the ball. He's not the big flashy star player, but Pat Jones.
Yeah.
Man, that guy has looked really good. He's getting through. He's getting back to the quarterback, and he had 2 sacks today?
Yeah, something like that. He's been a game wrecker these first 2 games of the season. Huge. I'm here for it.
Huge.
Yeah.
So on the defensive side of the ball, Pat Jones gets a game ball from me for sure.
Which is crazy too, because we were talking just a few weeks ago. He might not make the team.
Yeah.
He was in one of the most crowded roster areas for our favorite Minnesota team. And we thought he might not even make it because he hasn't really done much in his career. But yeah, 2 games in, seems like he's a game wrecker. If you didn't follow the Minnesota team and you just kind of looked at stats, you'd think, oh yeah, that guy's got to be one of their better players. But traditionally, no, he's just kind of breaking out, and it's awesome. Something clicked. Something has clicked in his Flores defense scheme. He's doing good, and I agree. I think that's a good pick for game ball.
5 total tackles, 2 solo tackles, and 2 sacks.
Yeah, that's crazy. And at good times, too. And he just seemed to always be there. He definitely made that offensive line rethink their skills and abilities today. My defensive game ball, I'm going with Josh Metellus.
Yeah.
He was just everywhere today. He plays a bunch of positions. He got an interception today. He almost, I think, had another one. It just looks good. I don't know what his stat line looks like or even what his PFF grade might end up being, but it just felt like he was a game wrecker too. The whole defense did good, but Jones and Metellus, they were shining lights in the defense today.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Offensively, I would go with it's kind of a toss-up, but I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
It's a little bittersweet because we did watch him walk out of the game, go back to the locker room. He wasn't carted off, which is encouraging, but left the game in the third quarter with an alleged quad injury, which is
that's scary.
Kind of concerning, considering the hamstring injury that kept him out of 6 games last year.
Yeah, that was kind of a season wrecker for him last year.
Yeah, so definitely not ideal. But before that transpired, he had that beautiful 97-yard catch for a touchdown. And an honorable mention to Sam Darnold for throwing that ball to him. But Justin Jefferson's the one that tracked it down, caught it, and then outran 2 defenders.
Oh yeah,
taking that angle, making that little back cut to get himself into the end zone. It was awesome to watch.
And if you find the right replay of that long touchdown catch, the angle that shows just Justin Jefferson's face, he takes that last big field turning juke. And he kind of looks back and he's kind of like smiling. You could tell he was the kid on the playground that was faster than everybody else again. That was probably the play of the game. That's definitely a really good offensive game ball for you. But like you said, for the purple team, my offensive game ball's got to go to Sam Darnold. And for me, until Darnold looks awful, if he keeps having just decent games like this, he's going to be my offensive MVP. He threw an interception at one point in the game. The next drive, the next offensive play was a pass that he threw and completed downfield. That's always something to note. Anytime a quarterback throws an interception and then they get the opportunity on their very next play, that just shows confidence from the coach, kind of knocks that play out of his mind a little bit, and he excelled in that. Today, I think, what did he have? Just the one interception, couple touchdown passes, that obvious huge 97-yard touchdown pass to JJ. Sam Darnold, he's my offensive MVP for the day, and I'm ready to keep watching him make people disbelieve how good he's been doing for the Vikings.
Since we
Dang
don't,
it.
Oh yeah, there you go. All right. While you do your push-ups, I'll read Sam Darnold's stat line really quick. He was 17 of 26 for 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. He did take 3 sacks and lost 10 yards on those. His final rating was a 109.1. So, kind of like you were saying, if Sam Darnold can keep playing to that level, if he can keep, he's not playing MVP level quarterback. He's not doing the cutesy Pat Mahomes behind the back or the shovel pass or whatever. We're not getting cute with the flea flickers or anything like that. It's just managing the game, handing the ball off when needed, getting the ball out. We saw a lot of those quick screen passes early on in the game from the purple team that sometimes frustrate us. But he seemed to be locked into what the game plan was for the most part. There were a few plays that fell apart. There was that one really ugly play where there were a few ugly plays, but there was one specifically that stands out to me where he dropped back and he kind of got tumbled over, and I think he nearly lost the ball, and then they lost 15 yards or something on the sack or something like that, which was kind of crazy. But anyways, all in all, impressed with Sam Darnold.
Yeah. I really hope I don't say that name again because I'm still out of breath a little bit. I had the microphone away from me. You're going to hear my heavy breathing. So we've done offense, we've done defense. What about special teams? Who gets your game ball?
Yeah, I'm going to take the one that I think you were probably going to take and make you mad a little bit. But CJ Ham, and we talked about this while we were watching it as it happened, he has fully redeemed himself from the fumble early in week 1. He fumbled early, what was it, first quarter, week 1?
Yeah, it was the first drive.
Yeah, and that was really frustrating, especially for a guy that's been so steady and doesn't typically turn the ball over. So to block the punt that he blocked today, and we said this too while we were watching it, he'd probably redeemed himself pretty well in all of the different things that he does, run blocking, pass blocking, special teams, whatever. But that solidified it. That blocked punt was yep, he's back, he's good, and we're glad to have CJ Ham on the team.
Yeah,
sure.
He's back in the good graces of everybody.
Yes. Not
just his teammates who know how good of a player he is outside of that fumble. You stole mine. That was going to be my special teams game ball. But I think the only other obvious one for the purple team is Will Reichard. He made his first career NFL field goal today, and his second. I think he only had 2 today. He's perfect. He hasn't missed a kick yet.
Yep.
There's no wood that I can see on this beautiful set, but knock on wood, Will Reichard. Have we figured out a nickname for him yet?
Will the Thrill, or what
Will
was
the Thrill? Oh, what was the Josh Metellus TikTok that came out this week where he was asking about, what was it?
Everybody's producer tags.
Yeah, and he rapped it almost.
Yeah.
What was he saying? Will the Thrill is coming.
Yeah, Will the Thrill's coming. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I like that for sure.
Yeah, he's my special teams game ball today. The less we have to worry about a purple team kicker, the better this team will be, because we've had some issues in our fandom of kickers on our favorite team that have broken our hearts.
Yes, it's not been pretty, but it's nice to know that we've got a pretty consistent kicker. so far.
So far. They always say don't draft kickers, but I mean, if he's the right one, you got to take him.
Yeah. What about highs and lows, or to put it differently, because we use that term a lot, something that I've been using with my daughters at home, and they like to do this at dinner, is we talk about roses and thorns.
Ooh, okay.
So
that's very artistic.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah. What are your roses and thorns from the Vikings? Ooh, that was a close one.
Oh,
didn't say it.
We did talk. There is going to be a little bit of leeway on this.
I have to say it
you
completely.
Have to say the full
I
word.
stopped myself.
Finish with the S.
From the game today. Against the Niners.
I think
roses and thorns.
I think and I like that because a rose can really just be like a general idea too. It doesn't have to be one play. I think if it was one play, I think we'd both pick that 97-yard historical I'm not doing this on purpose. I really don't want to do push-ups again. But yeah, that historically long play for the Minnesota team, that would be the pick other than the blocked punt. But for me, again, I said it last week, there was no Superman. We didn't have the Justin Jefferson who got 500 receiving yards and made the Buffalo Bills type catch on 4th and 18. Like, we didn't need that crazy performance. So my rose would be that this was an overall team win without any huge main Superman on offense, defense, or special teams.
Nice.
What about you? What's your rose there, Ev?
A rose for me would be a lot of the defensive stops, especially in the first half. It seemed like defensively they had the Niners figured out. It seemed like Brian Flores had this defense watching film all week. They were ready. They were prepared. They knew what the Niners were going to throw at them. The Niners were still able to advance the ball quite a bit. And, of course, you're going to find George Kittle over the middle. You're going to find Brandon Ayuk. You're going to find Deebo Samuel. Even that running back, I don't even remember his name, but
Jordan Mason for the Niners. Yeah,
he's a bruiser for sure. But they still made plays. They still moved the ball pretty effectively. But there were some key moments where that Vikings defense,
do them. But to finish your thought, yeah, that purple team defense, they held. Maybe they, as a defense, were the Superman, because in the first half, the Niners' run game seemed to be able to do whatever they wanted to do. Jordan Mason made a lot of fantasy football players, including myself, pretty happy this week because he looked really good. But even with that good rushing performance from him, the Niners still didn't beat the purple team. So yeah, that's a good rose. I like that a lot. What about thorn? Do you have a good thorn for the purple team?
Oh man, I think it's probably a tie between those sacks that Darnold took and the protection up front, or Justin Jefferson
getting injured.
Hurt. Yeah. It's a tie, I think, between those two for me. It's tough to pick one. If I had to pick one, probably Justin Jefferson, because you just don't know what's going to happen there. But you'd like to see your offensive line protect for your quarterback a little bit better and give him time to throw the ball. And granted, the Niners have some pretty high-powered weapons on that defensive line to come after, namely Nick Bosa. But it seemed like he was pretty quiet for the most part. He got in there a few times, but
he also got nicked up too. There was that horrible play where it was Jefferson, Bosa, and I think even Kittle might have been on that. Big terrible play that everybody in the world got injured. Yeah, that's probably true. I was going to say the offensive line performance as a whole. The one play, I think you were talking about it earlier, where Darnold looked up and didn't even get to make a decision, and he had somebody grabbing him immediately. That was just Garrett Bradbury getting mulled over. And last year, Garrett Bradbury, after he had that back injury and came back, he looked really good. And so far this year, you got Dexter Lawrence last week with the Giants, who's a game breaker. And then this week, the Niners defense as a whole is pretty awesome. So it's a tough ask for the Vikings offensive line. But if you're going to do anything, you have to start. Dang it, I said Vikings again, didn't I?
You did.
All right, finish my thought.
You did. Honestly, I was just kind of looking ahead at what's next for the Vikings. Dang it. This was a terrible idea. Why don't you take it from here and finish your thought?
All right. So What's next? So this next week after Sunday Night Football, the Bears and the Texans play each other tonight on Sunday Night Football. But next week, the purple team hosts, right? It's a home team for Minnesota. They host the Texans.
Yes, I think so.
Oh, man. I'm definitely still breathing heavy. I can see it in your face, too. This is.
I think I've got 30 push-ups in now.
Oh, and I've done it twice. I don't even think we'll have to run the tape back. I don't think I did all 10 on my last one. And please be kind. I don't have the form that is necessary for perfect push-ups. But I guess I just can't say the purple team's name again, and I don't have to worry about that.
The purple team is, in fact, at home.
Okay.
Against the Texans next week.
And that's a big thing. The Texans are an up-and-coming team. I've said the Texans are a year ahead of where I hope the Vikings would be. Dang it. Finish my thought, Ev.
I can't because I'm laughing too hard and I'm still out of breath from the last time. No, I agree with you. The Texans are probably a step ahead of where our favorite team currently is. I don't know that. Your face is so red. The entertainment value, right?
Yeah, we're here.
This is why we did it.
Purple punishments, okay?
It has been a punishment so far.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm somewhere around 30 like you, but
yeah, I think we've both got 30 in now.
Oh man.
So we'll be a little more sculpted in our upper body.
All right. Do you think the purple team has any chance against the Texans next week?
I do, especially considering how they've played. The purple team, that is, how they've played so far through weeks 1 and 2. It'll be interesting to see how the Texans play because they play tonight against the Bears, right?
Yep.
So that'll be an interesting Sunday night football game and one that we'll watch with some interest, both for the in-division rivalry with the Bears and continuing to watch the progression of Caleb Williams and how all that stuff is progressing, and then how the Bears are able to manage C.J. Stroud and that offense.
And Stephon Diggs.
And, yeah, that guy. He was a thorn.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch. I'm excited. I think after this Niners win, the purple team is definitely a wild card now. I mean, the predictions where they're going to get 6-7 wins, you got to rethink those. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying Super Bowl. That would be crazy to say after 2 pretty good games, but still just 2 games. But I mean, they're showing that they're a team to beat so far.
So looking ahead at the Texans against the purple team at home, what are the keys to victory? How is our favorite team going to overcome the Texans?
Well, I think we kind of said it already. The offensive line needs to step it up, whether it's changing personnel in there. Man, I'm still out of breath. I think we just need to call it what it is. Okay. Yeah. What?
I'll take over. I'll let you catch your breath. I agree with you. Offensive line for sure. I think getting Justin Jefferson healthy is another thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we need him. That guy is so important to what we do. Even there was a Jalen Naylor touchdown that we watched today, and it was such an easy touchdown. Was it Charvarius Ward that was covering Jalen Naylor? Mm-hmm. And it was clear to me watching the replay that Charvarius Ward got caught looking over at Justin Jefferson. He wasn't covering Justin Jefferson, but he was looking over there because he thought the ball was going over there, and that left Jalen Naylor wide open. Touchdown purple team, and it was awesome.
And Sam Darnold threw a perfect pass. I think I said butter as soon as he threw it.
Right in.
Yeah,
it was great.
And we can't forget, this whole game, Jordan Addison wasn't playing. He's still got his ankle. Maybe he's back next week for the purple team. That would be huge, especially if Justin Jefferson's out for any amount of time.
Yeah, it will be pivotal to get Jordan Addison back if Justin Jefferson has to miss time. If they're both out, it's going to be rough for the Vikings offense.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Oh, man. Well, I think this proves the purple punishment segment is going to be a good one for us this season. I wish we would have thought about the exact punishment, because at this moment, I wish we would have done a habanero or something.
That would have been more embarrassing for me than for
I
you.
would have been less red in the face if we had eaten a habanero. But yeah, it's a good segment. I'm excited for it. I'm here for it.
We'll continue to spin the wheel as long as we get our picks wrong.
Yeah, which if we're picking a loss and we're wrong about that, I think we're both pretty happy.
Yeah, and we're getting slightly more in shape with this punishment.
Man.
So
I don't know. You give me a lot of credit there. But yeah, I think we've said about all we can. Snap reactions for the purple team on this week. Just really quick, are you ready to rethink your preseason prediction for the purple team?
I gotta look back. I'm pretty sure I said 8 and 9.
Does that what you
sound
said?
Familiar?
I know I said 11 wins.
I remember that because that was surprising because you're typically the pessimist. You're typically the one that's all doom and gloom and they won't make it happen and they'll S the bed, to use your term. So let me go back and look here. I have them at 9 and 8.
Okay.
So on the right side of 500, which is good, but still conservative, for sure. But they're 2-0 right now, which is great. You have them at 11 and 6.
Yep, and we both predicted this game wrong. We both thought they'd be 1-1 at this point,
which is why we're both doing push-ups.
Yeah. All right. I'm determined not to do another push-up the rest of the day or the rest of my life. I don't know.
You know what we could do to avoid any further punishment is we could just talk about beer for the rest of the episode.
Yeah.